What was life like inside your home?
My home was nice, man. Like, I got a two-parent household, so my mum and my dad have been together like 33, 34 years now. And so I always knew what love was. I was very, very close to my mum. And me and my dad had a great relationship as well. So, like, my dad used to take me football every Saturday, and me and my brother would go watch and play football every Saturday. And then my mum would have us during the week most of the time. But she also used to work nights on the weekend, so I would have like a fair portion with both sides. I wouldn't say I was deprived of anything. I think we didn't have everything. We weren't rich in by any shape or form, but we were spiritually rich. Firstly, because I had the presence of my mother and father. My dad was quite a disciplinarian, so I knew boundaries, I knew certain things. Obviously, you push boundaries, and I was probably the most challenging out of my siblings, because I was the middle child as well. And I was very bright, but like, they didn't ever make me feel like I couldn't do something. It was funny, I was having this thought the other day about like especially my mum, innit, because me and my mum are very close, and she's gone through a lot in the last few years. And I wake up early, and she always wakes up early, and we would just sit down and just talk in the morning, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning and stuff. And what occurred to me when I was thinking about it in hindsight was that she never told me, it wasn't like, she wasn't crazy encouraging and like, oh, you can do anything you want to be, you're going to be a superhero, but she always made me feel like I can do things. So like, and even to this day, I've started learning chess. I called my mum, I said, Mum, like, I'm learning chess. She said, oh yeah, you'd be good at chess. And that's it. Or if I go to my mum with another idea, Mum, I don't know, I'm thinking of writing a book. Oh yeah, you'll be good at writing a book. I think you write a good book. And it's just that. It wasn't nothing too overwhelming, but it was just a subtle thing that gave me confidence, you know? Yeah. Confidence is quiet, do you know what I'm saying?
I wanted you to just elaborate a little bit more about your relationship with your mum. Obviously, you have a good relationship with her, but you've also mentioned that she's been through quite a lot in the last few years. Would you be able to, mention what those things might have been and how that's impacted you?
Yeah, 100%. So it's quite a story. So 2023, I went on my first UK tour, and I cancelled it the year before because my mental just wasn't right. Yeah? So we moved it to 2023. And throughout 2023, she was getting quite ill. She was just getting a lot of headaches. She's always had migraines. So we're just like, oh, you're just having migraines, it will pass, blah, 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 blah. She ends up in hospital. We're not really sure what's going on. And I'm in hospital with her the day that my tour starts. So I'm in hospital, and then I've got to drive to Nottingham for the first show. In my head, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm not sure if I'm gonna go. My mum's like, listen, you cancelled it already, so you should go. Yeah, you should go. I'm like, okay, cool, fine. Like, I'll go, but something ain't right. Something didn't feel right in my stomach, innit? I've gone and done the tour. So I'm away for like, on and off for like 5-6 weeks. Last show we did was at Jazz Cafe, sold out Jazz Cafe, and my mum's got out, she's out of the hospital now and she's come down. But I remember that her vision was quite blurry, yeah? So, to the point where she couldn't recognize one of my friends. And I was a bit distracted, so I wasn't really too in the moment, but my boy said, yeah, like, your mum, like, she couldn't recognize me. And this is like, calls my mum auntie, that type of thing. So I was like, okay, interesting. Let me just sober up from this tour and settle and see what's happening. Fast forward like a week, she's back in hospital, like emergency A&E. Things aren't really good. Her vision's getting worse and worse. She ended up having this thing called IIH, was idiopathic intracranial hypertension. Yeah, so she had blood pressure, which has led to there being pressure on the brain, which has damaged her optic nerves. So she's lost her vision. She lost all her vision in one of her eyes, and she also has something else called polycythemia vera, which is like a rare form of blood cancer, but not an aggressive form. Yeah. So I've gone from the high of selling at Jazz Cafe to just being by my mum's side in hospital for time. I didn't even know how long she was in hospital for. And all the while, when this is happening, I drove myself on tour and I was skirting. So I'm now banned from driving. I'm banned from driving. My mum's in the hospital for, I couldn't even tell you, bro, maybe months. And I'm having to get the bus from Croydon, but further than Croydon, to Tooting. every single day, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth through this whole thing. Like witnessing my mum like on the ropes, you know what I'm saying? And when I went on tour, when I've left, she's fine. She's just gone hospital for a quick not well stage. And I've come back and it's like a calamity, do you know what I'm saying? To the point where like it weighed on me because I wasn't really, I mean, my presence being there was helpful, but I wanted to be, if my dad needs to be driven to the hospital because he can't drive every day, I want to be able to do that, but I couldn't. I wasn't able to do that because I got myself banned because I was on tour. Yeah. So we're there for like, couple, I honestly, I couldn't tell you, it was all a blur. But there was one day that was very poignant. It was, she had to get a shunt put in her brain to leak the fluid out. And we were waiting for the day for the surgery for ages. We're waiting, still going back and forth on the bus every single day. And maybe 2 hours there, 2 hours back. And then one day we're there, they're saying that surgery is going to happen today. We're all waiting, it's the four of us, me, my sister, my dad and my mum. And my phone starts pinging off, just going mad, like bare notifications on Instagram. I open my phone, I'm nominated for a MOBO. Like, oh, video of the year. But I'm in hospital with my mum and she's about to go in for brain surgery. So I'm like, okay. And I just said it, I said, oh, guys, you know, I just got nominated for a MOBO, that's how I found out. And they're like, oh wow, like they're very, very happy. And I'm not feeling it, man. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I'm not going, I don't want to go. Like, nothing else really mattered apart from my mum's health at that time. So then my mum says, Jordan, like, don't be stupid. You need to go, this is bigger than yourself. You're doing this for all of us. And at times like this, maybe your role is to bring us joy through these moments, innit? I'm like, all right, whatever, innit? It's still going through one ear and out the other. I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever. I'm gonna call my manager and tell him the news anyway. I've gone downstairs. I called my manager. We've spoken for like 10 minutes. I've gone back up. My mum's gone. She's in surgery now. I'm like, this might be. And in your head, when your mum's getting brain surgery and it's a serious surgery, you're like, right, that might have been the last conversation I ever had with my mum, innit? It's bewildering going from selling out Jazz Cafe, mum being in hospital, MOBO nomination, mum's in surgery, might be the last conversation you ever have with your mum. Like, it just put everything into perspective of like what you need versus what you want and what your duties are versus what your desires are, do you know what I'm saying? Which was, yeah, bro, super interesting, man. It doesn't even have a conclusion, but she's healthy now, I just say. She's healthy now. She's lost her vision, but she's still here, which is, like I said, the thoughts I was having about whether she'd still be here, to her being here, any version of her is a bonus, isn't it? Because at one point you have to face the reality that she may not be here. So it just makes you extra present, extra grateful. It's brought my family a lot closer as well. And it's also shown me what love is, because my dad was just there, like every day, by her side. Even those days I'm like, no, Dad, I can go, you can chill. He's like, I don't care, come with me then. You get me? And sometimes like, he would drop me home afterwards, and like to this day, by her side every single day. Like, I can see he's quite anxious when she wants to go out and do her own thing, but like, it's just that's real unconditional love, isn't it? Because it's not a question, or it's not about when things are good, it's about when things get tough.
Yeah. How
strong are you? And you don't even have to display your strength, you just are strong because you are and because you have to be, and there's no other alternative. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It sounds like a lot of the mental health struggles that you mentioned that you had in the past stems from that.
What stems from what happened?
Yeah, with your mum.
Nah. I think mental health is always up and down, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And I think when you're, because I was pursuing music on my own for so long and there was no safety net, and like many other factors. I come from the end, survivor's guilt, all of that, like just things you witness growing up, all the trauma, it all combines into like a ball of it. And to be honest, when my mum was ill, I wouldn't say it tested my mental, because I didn't think there was no, I stopped becoming the center of my universe, bro. Like it wasn't about me anymore, innit? It was like I'm seeing my mum's mental health, so I'm going to hospital with my mum, and I'm just saying, oh, give me 5 things that you're grateful for. Because I've never seen her like that, in that kind of way, innit? So I'm like, give me 5 things you're grateful for every single day. I'll be at your side, and if that's the only thing I can do for you, then that's all I'll do for you, innit? So as much as it may have tested my mental, like it gave me a new sense of purpose and a new sense of strength that I don't think I had before. So I think it was actually had a positive effect on me. Yeah.
You mentioned survivor's guilt. What was happening in your life at the time that happened?
Survivor's guilt. It's always a thing. Like I've got brothers that have been to jail. People that have been to my school have been killed. Like seen many people, you know, end up in crazy situations.
Do you feel like you put a lot of pressure on yourself when you think that way?
Yeah, I do. I think, yeah, I put a lot of pressure on myself. This year, I've tried to be less hard on myself, but I'm very, very hard on myself. I hold myself to a higher standard because I know I'm capable. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it might rob my happiness. Sometimes, even like I said, that year, 2023, in terms of achievements and things that I wanted when I was a kid, most of the things that I wanted to achieve, I achieved in 2023. But because of circumstances and because I'm always looking up and looking for more, like it kind of robbed my happiness from that year. It did rob my happiness from that year. And now I look back, I'm like, right, I was killing it, man. But at the time, I didn't feel that at all because, innit? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Today, how do you think you handle thoughts of sadness or moments where maybe you're not feeling as happy as you'd like to be?
I remain present in them and you let them exist. You have to let them exist. If when you're sad, you're just fighting to not be sad, you're gonna do the same thing when you're happy. So when you're happy, you're trying to rob yourself of your happiness. Whereas if you're present in your sadness and you're like, okay, rather than thinking I'm sad, I need to not be sad, let me self-medicate or whatever, let me find a dopamine hit quickly. It's more, okay, why am I sad? What do I feel? Embrace this feeling. The feeling will pass, just like every other feeling. And when you're in a good place, be just as present in that good place as when you're in this bad place. And it will make, the highs will make the lows worth it. Do you know what I mean?
Would you say you're in a good place?
Yeah, of course. No, I'm grateful. I'm in a good place. I think I'm in a reflective place, and I think I'm trying to refine myself at the moment. Like I haven't, usually I'm always locked in on some sort of musical project and I'm like album mode or mixtape mode or something, and I'm not really in that right now. I'm just figuring out purpose, figuring out family, figuring out like who I am, going back to the ends. I'm seeing people that I haven't seen for years. Like I'm really enjoying normality for a bit. I've been tunnel vision for so long with my career. I've been doing this since I was 16. I'm 31 now, and I can't think of a time that I took a break. Like a real break. Obviously I take a little break, 3 days, 4 days, and every time I used to always say, oh, I'm gonna take my December off. I'm off. And then 2022, I ended up traveling in December doing work. 2023, I was with my mum, so I wasn't really off. It was like in the trenches, innit? Do you know what I mean? And then 2024, same thing. I'm on my music graft because I also love it as well. But when you're in an industry that monetizes creativity, it's hard to distinguish what you're doing because you love it and what you're doing because you feel like it's going to propel your career. I don't think music's meant to be a career. I think it's meant to be a hobby, and it's meant to be a soundtrack of everything that you do in your life, innit? And if I just live and I create whilst I'm living, and that just ends up being the soundtrack of whatever I'm going through, I feel better doing that than if I'm like, music's my career and I need to lock in and I need to make an album because I need to make X amount of money off this album so I can do whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's just finding a different purpose with it.